People watching on the stream probably nobody, but we're gonna do a one shot. It's Ravnica. Let's get it. Uh, uh, so we have 3 players today, and we'll get into that here in a second. 1 second here. It's cutting my head off.
Don't sound too excited, dude.
I'm excited. This will be fun. So, yeah. Today we'll be starting one shot. Shouldn't be too bad. I've got a pretty good group here. Just to spare me an intro, a startup intro, I'm going to go ahead and have the players that are here explain their characters, then I'll explain the 4th character that's present, and then from there we'll go into the narrative, okay? So that said, we'll go ahead and start with Steve.
Alright. My character's name is Inez. She comes from one of the basilicas of Orzova. She was a orphan of sorts. Her parents used her as payment that they owed to one of the great pontiffs, who they made a huge bunch of debt with. She was raised in the church under the guidance of the priests there and became a cleric herself. She's pretty cold, kind of incalculated, no-nonsense kind of personality. She understands the way the city works. She understands the way Orzov works, which is wealth, or power through wealth. And that is her goal. She was beckoned by her pontiff to come and solve this issue that I believe it's the Hall of the Guild Pack summoned them, or is requesting assistance. So she's coming mostly for the monetary reward and the gain. She is an wood elf, though she doesn't really appear as so. Time spent in the libraries of the basilicas have rent her skin quite pale. She has kind of a cold attitude about her. She carries a very ornate spear that just below the tip has the sunburst of Orzova. She also, the most other notable thing is she wears a chain of coins around her neck. The center coin being larger than the others, and it also has the sunburst of Orzova on it. When she first comes up to whoever we're meeting, she would be riding side saddle on a sickly-looking mare that's being guided by an ugly little gray creature with leathery wings. The creature ties the horse off and then helps her down off the horse before leaning it away. And she waits patiently for the whoever summoned her.
Okay. Kevin, give us a little bit about Jordak. Jardox, even. I can't even do
Oh,
it.
damn, Steve. It's gonna be hard to follow up.
Really?
Jardax is a minotaur from the Gruul clan, and upon looking at him, the first thing you'd notice are his outrageous muscles. He is ripped head to toe. He is gigantic. He's got a giant maul on his back, which is basically a rough stick of wood with like the biggest rock he could find on it. He's got a bunch of battle scars, some piercings like typical for a minotaur, like through the nose, like a clasp or 2 around his horns. Not much. I'm not really sure how else to describe him.
Come on,
He's not
drag
really
it out.
wearing armor or anything.
Give me some more.
Give me that
He
Flavor Flav.
He looks pretty savage, man. But
Does he have like trophies on him? Does he have like anything like bangles hanging from him that he's taking off of like the wild creatures from like the other clans that have been weak and too weak to stay in the amalgamation of the Gruul? Or like has he defeated other guilds and put their tokens upon him? Like, or is he just a guy with a big ass fucking hair? I mean,
I feel like if I were to display that kind of shit, he'd be more of an evil character.
I don't give a shit. That's fine.
But yeah, I was gonna say if like that would be his initial appearance, you'd think he's like super rough, brutish, blah blah blah, which is true, but he's not as stupid as people might initially.
I gotcha. Okay, so he's actually pretty well dressed for a Gruul. Like, he is pretty competently dressed. He doesn't have, like, you know...
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, And like I was trying to for decorations and stuff like that, like I said, like some maybe like tattoos or markings and stuff like that, and then piercings, maybe chains and stuff like that.
Dope.
Bangles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, Travik. Travik is also a Minotaur, but unlike Jardax, maybe not quite as massive, but is wearing heavy armor instead. Instead of sort of being more wild looking, he's more put together, formal, and official. He's a member of the Boros Legion, comes from a line of fighters. His grandfather was a fighter. He carries a battle axe that his grandfather gave him. It's his most treasured possession. It has many notches in it, some quite old and some more recent. And unlike Inez, Travik is motivated not by money, but by honor, especially family honor.
Okay. And Joe Orbick, good morning. Feel free to tell us a little bit about your character, Batir.
Very large. Very large. I'm clad in a plate from head to toe. It's not plate necessarily, but it looks like plate. It's very strong, thick armor. I'm an elephant man. That's why I'm so large. Yeah. I've got like some baubles and things hanging from my tusks, some trophies and trinkets. Got a sword and a shield. Yeah, I'm good to go. Big metal elephant knight man.
Perfect. All right. So, a lot of you. So, life in the 10th district is pretty much never dull. You've got crazy things happening, like small impish creatures tying off horses and lightning streaking across the way and what have you. It's an exciting place to live, Ravnica, the 10th district of the city. That said, today is your lucky day. This afternoon, you received a brief note from one of your contacts. It states, "I heard today from someone who is looking for help finding something. Seems serious. Might be a good opportunity for you. Meet outside Sawtooth Prison at dusk. At the appointed time, you find yourself gathered with other like-minded individuals outside the front door to the functional and unremarkable Sawtooth Prison." So this is where you would arrive, Enos, and you would see the other player characters have also mustered outside of the door there.
Whereas I'm very clearly like displaying the signet of my guild. Are you guys will have anything that kind of shows where your guild, like anything notable?
Yeah, like on the armor, for example, Travik would have.
Okay, yeah. Then if you have the Boros fist on your chest, then yeah, I would actually go up to. Always a pleasure to work with the Legion. Your chivalry is always noteworthy. And she actually extends her hand, puts it out before you, expectingly.
Okay, Travik would kind of look down and maybe grunt a little bit first and put out his hand reluctantly.
Sure. As you're about to
overly hard,
like almost as if you're about to like start shaking hands, a couple of notes. Light rain begins to patter on the cobblestones. The sun's kind of setting behind the spires. It's still afternoon, but obviously the large towered nature of the city kind of blocks out the sun from your current position. As you're kind of getting ready to shake the Minotaur's hand, and you're getting ready to shake the elf's hand, you do see a male Vidalcan in well-tailored clothes approach your group from around the side of the prison. His deep blue face bears a gentle but concerned expression, and he raises his hand to hail you and speaks in a low tone as his eyes take in your group and the nearby environs. It's almost as if he was paranoid of someone overhearing. And he states, "Are you here to help us find something?"
Yes, I'm here on behalf of the Pontiff Sullivan. Orzova will see this done.
Make an intelligence history check, Steve, if you have it trained. I don't know if you do.
18.
Okay. You would actually recognize this individual. His name's Nasius Ven. He's a Vidalcan noble, and he's also a proctor from the Office of the Guild Pact. Yeah. You know that the Office of the Guild Pact tries to kind of help quell disputes between the guilds while the Living Guild Pact is away. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the Living Guild Pact is a planeswalker named Jace Bellerin, who did some heroic stuff, arguably heroic stuff here in Ravnica, and then booked it off after organizing stuff, only for it to kind of fall apart in his absence. But yeah, that's what he says.
All right. What can you? So we're all here, right? Like me and
Mhm.
3 large people.
Yeah, almost interjecting on your guys' handshake and kind of looking to the others. He comes up to you and he says, "Are you here to help us find something?"
We would say, yeah. Let's go.
Kind of looks to everyone else as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming if I'm within earshot, I'd be paying attention and give like a nod if he looks my way.
Okay. Kind of looks over to the Loxodon,
Yes!
and then finally to the elf.
Of course, as I said before, we'll see it done.
Kind of moves over to the Loxodon and has kind of looks like an envelope. Hands it over to him. He then kind of nods his head and says, "We have need of your particular skills to assist in the retrieval of a convict who got loose just before sunrise this morning. He escaped during his transfer to Udzek, a maximum security prison where he would have spent the rest of his days."
Can you tell us more about this prisoner?
Sure. His name is Krenko. He's the boss of a large gang of goblins that operates around the Foundry Street. He was apprehended to answer for a long list of crimes, including murder. He allegedly incited a riot that led to the deaths of a guard and 2 inmates at this prison a week ago. The warden decided enough was enough and put through his transfer.
So how did he escape? Sorry, go ahead.
You taking notes, right, Andy? See you writing things down.
Is Andy writing stuff down? Yeah, he's always taking notes.
Yeah, I got stuff, yeah.
I'm taking notes of each character. Inez would pull a small notebook out of her satchel and a quill. And if there's any sort of covering, because you said it was raining, she'd move under, get the shade so the ink doesn't run.
He, after being asked the question, how did he escape? He says, from our records and what we understand from the reports, a pair of armored mages descended from the sky on hovering discs. They aimed devices attached to their arms at the guards and blasted them back with a concussive wave. While the guards were recovering, the mages magically dissolved Krenko's bonds and he escaped. It did not look like the 2 parties, the mages and the goblin boss, maneuvered in the same direction in particular, but it could be that they had a rendezvous point of some sort.
So he's in league with the league then.
I suppose you could say that, or someone who has access to League materials and is trying to make them look bad. More likely the first. But do know this, Krenko has made a lot of enemies, but the Shattergang brothers are his biggest threat. They're a rival goblin gang specializing in illicit weapons, and they want Krenko dead in reprisal for the murder of one of their lieutenants. The dead lieutenant also happens to be the youngest of the 3 siblings that run the gang. They'll tear apart the neighborhood to find him once they know he's out on the streets.
What's his name?
The dead Shattergang?
No, the one that's still alive, right? One that would search him out?
Oh, there's 2 others, yeah. For now, just Shattergang Brother A, Shattergang Brother B.
And out of character, what do we know about the League, these mages?
So the Izet, I'm not going to tell you. Go ahead. If you have any knowledge in character, I think Steve might be a fount of information.
Cool.
The Izzet League. Brilliant, dangerous. What can I say? Their inventions harm this city as much as they benefit. I'm sure you've seen their towers, their coils, gouts of lightning and fire springing forth from their machinations. I myself find I do not like to partake in much of their company. They are as likely to set you aflame as they are to assist you, and if this Cranko is in league with them, it will make this more dangerous.
So normally, oh, go ahead.
Did he say this other goblin gang that wants revenge is offering a reward? Is that what he said?
Oh, no.
Or
He's saying if the other goblin gang finds out that Krenko's out on the streets, they'll rip the streets apart to find Krenko and kill him.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, they what he was about to say. Normally, we'd let the Azorius deal with the situation, but we suspect that Krenko might have had help from one of the other guilds when he escaped. We are enlisting others to investigate that connection, as it could point to a bigger problem. The obvious denotation would be the Izzet League, but of course, we have no suspects in custody to question, so we cannot be sure. But we need you to track down Krenko and bring him back alive. Then we can interrogate him and keep him off the streets for good.
Do you have any leads on his whereabouts?
Not terribly much. Just the information that I am granting you in the dossier. And also a note too. I am prepared to give you 10 Xenos right now to cover any expenses you might incur during your investigation. Upon delivery of the criminal, you will receive 100 Xenos, and my gratitude, which I will convey to your guild leaders. Under no circumstances should you attempt to question Krenko yourselves.
Inez would happily
Why
take
not?
Xenos.
He's kind of looking at the Orzovo when he says that. Then he kind of looks back to the Gruul, like surprised and kind of... just because it's a request of the mission that I am putting you upon.
Then he's gonna, Jardax would answer back. That seems like a very specific request. And maybe like snort at him.
Is it against your capabilities?
No, it's not a matter of that. I'll kind of just let it be. But yeah, I'm taking note that he doesn't want me to talk to him.
Fair enough. It does look like the Vidalcan is kind of now more like the first shock of like the Minotaur having like an arguably logical question to respond with is kind of annoying him at first, and now he's kind of looking at you more inquisitively like, who the fuck is this guy? But he says in leaving, he kind of stands there awaiting any questions that you may have.
The dossier, it's like essentially like a little booklet, right?
Yeah,
Is there,
basically it's...
is there a handout for the dossier, or can you tell us what's in it?
I'll be telling you what's in it here in a moment, if you're getting to that, but before he kind of parts with company with you, he will say, when you recover Krenko, of course you'll need to know where he needs to be taken. That would be the end portion of this sortie. Once you've acquired him, I would like for you to bring Krenko to an old Celestia granary that was damaged in a Gruul raid at the end of the district. There, I will take Krenko into custody. Understood. And
What if we are only able to bring you his head?
Then you might be charged with murder. If he does attack you hostilely and you have no recourse, I would prefer that you do your due diligence not to kill him, as our contract will have been voided, and the 10 gold I'm about to pay you will be the substance of what you acquire. For this mission to be successful, I do need Krenko alive.
Literally noted. Do not kill, will not get paid.
I don't mind if he's battered and bruised a bit, or perhaps quite wounded, but I'm sure that if you have a wounded creature such as that, you might be able to do something about that. Is that right?
Yes, of course. If need be, you can keep him alive.
Very good. So he starts passing out coin, and yeah. Make a wisdom insight check, Kevin.
Oh, 8.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty sure maybe Nasius is being kind of... You're not sure if he's the one who's kind of trying to elicit this kind of activity of don't talk to Krenko, or if it's coming from, like, higher up. You're not sure if it's him or not.
Okay.
He parts company with you. If you don't have any other questions for him, I'll go ahead and ask Joe and Andy if you have anything you want to ask Nasius before he leaves.
First, I'd want to know if Travik, especially as a soldier, would know about the whereabouts of this gang, the Krenko's gang.
Okay, so you're not asking Nasius any questions, right?
Well, if I wouldn't know myself, I would want to ask him.
Oh, okay. He told you it was specifically... What's the name of the street? I just had it a second ago.
Foundry Street?
That's right, Foundry Street.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, and then Joe, do you have any questions for Nasius, the Vidalcan, before he dips away?
No, I'd just kind of be flipping through the dossier and listening to the conversation.
Okay. Yep, you have the dossier first, so what you'd be able to yield from the dossier upon inspection is Krenko has been a goblin mob boss for several years. His turf was around Foundry Street. He has been a person of interest in numerous crimes befitting a mobster, but managed to evade the law until recently. Krenko was brought into custody by Gideon Jura, a freelancer working with the Boros Legion at the time. Krenko was found guilty of murdering Dargig, one of the Shattergang brothers, and of assault with a deadly weapon against Gideon Jura. The weapon on his person at the time of arrest was a magic shiv, prison knife. Reportedly, it could punch through force barriers. It isn't known how Krenko obtained the weapon. Krenko's notable associates include the mysterious Mr. Taz, no other information provided, and a renegade Izzet weapons inventor named Falish, female, human, seen around 10th Street. Both are also persons of interest to the Azorius. And that is what you would be able to get from those documents.
I convey all that out loud.
Okay.
Well, this Mr. Taz seems too elusive to track down, but if we can find this, perhaps find this Falish woman, she could maybe lead us somewhere.
It's a good plan.
You, of course, do know that you have some contacts in your own guilds that you could try and draw up. It's a pretty big city. If you head around the area, you could try and gather rumors. And of course, if you want to just go directly to specific locations to find people, places, or things that have been mentioned, you can do that as well.
If I see any thralls roaming about the streets on errands, I would request them to see if they could get me any information, like rumors and stuff on this subject.
Roll a d6.
A 3.
Okay. So basically, you cut out the hour-long time because you get pretty lucky in finding a troll that you can speak to. But you know that based on where the person that he kind of denotes that he can get you contact with, that would be an expert or someone of importance in trying to get information concerning this matter. It might take you a couple of hours just to pull them away. In exact detail, 3 hours to get them away from what they're doing.
I would tell the group, gentlemen, I can have a contact within 3 hours who could perhaps help us, but if you have something that could get this done faster, I would not object.
I also scour the city for information, I guess.
Okay. Before you break up, though, do you guys set up a meeting point where you guys will regroup, or are you just going on your individual paths?
Yeah, we should meet back at a central point, but we can devise to our own ideas within that 3-hour time frame or less. That makes sense.
Why
I
don't we
speak
meet back
goblin,
here?
so I want to go look for some goblins to rough up and find some information. That's my plan.
Okay. And then you were saying, Andy, meet back up at Sawtooth to regroup and then kind of gather notes and focus your
Right.
direction.
And if I have time, I'd want to track down Gideon Jura, the one who brought him in the last time.
Okay.
You said was Boros.
Yep. Go ahead and make an intelligence history check off the bat. We'll see if you know anything about him already.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. Name sounds familiar. You know that he's not aligned to the Boros. He's not a member of the Boros, and you'd never seen him before until the point where he was assisting in the matters in question, and you haven't seen him or heard much about him since. But yeah, you can definitely try and pull some information regarding Gideon Jura. Go ahead and roll d6.
2.
Okay. Yeah, you think it'll probably just getting back to the Legion and mustering some questions might take a couple hours for you. Okay. And then, Kevin, you said you were going to try and go to Foundry Street and start trying to body some, well, not really body them, but just mess around with some people to see if you can't find out some information.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6 and roll a charisma intimidation check after.
3 on the d6 and a 23 intimidate.
Perfect. Okay. And Joe Orbick, what is Batir doing?
I want to help. I want to help keep the centaur man.
Would advantage have given you any benefit, Kevin?
No, the other roll's 12.
Okay. So yeah, you two are basically rolling around a Celestia, Loxodon, and a Gruul Minotaur, just walking around Foundry Street. Most of the people in Foundry Street are a lot shorter than you. But yeah. What did you roll on your d6?
3.
Cool. Alright. So we'll go ahead and do them in the order of who's the quickest. Andy, you head back to the Legion and start asking questions about Gideon Jura, trying to find out what you can about him, see if you can try and get in contact with him. It's very quickly brought to your attention that Gideon Jura is a planeswalker and is actually an affiliate of the Living Guild Pact, and he also is a member of the Gatewatch, or not the Gatewatch, the one that stops against the Eldrazi. I always forget what the name of that one is. But anyways, he's probably not even on this plane.
The Night's Watch.
No. It was it is the Gatewatch, isn't it? Anyways, not terribly important.
He fights Cthulhu's.
Ooh. Okay, so basically he's not here.
Correct, but it is Oath of the Gatewatch. Okay, cool. I figured it out. But anyways, what you do find out is when he was here, and he did tangle with the problem elements in Foundry Street. He was very direct in his approach, he was very keen on making sure peace kind of stayed to the that area of the city, which it has because of Krenko's imprisonment. And you're pretty sure that Nasius's assessment, based on what you've learned, it will be hard to find him, and even if you do find him, it will be hard to recover him, just based on his slippery nature and his contacts. He is quite hated in the city, but at the same time, he also has a lot of friends, or at least people who will work for him.
With my sort of law and order background, would I have a sense that he would try to avoid Foundry Street or go to it?
You're not sure. As a smart fellow, if he wanted to play the smart game, it might behoove him to actually go to Foundry Street because his connections and contacts and his basically insulation would be present there.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Number 2, go ahead and deal with the Orzova. You said you were going to check with your own contacts. Get a bit more information about what you could regarding this. You do find out that there is an Orzhov agent who is kind of superficially connected to this matter because of Krenko's connection with Falish. And from what you're gathering, Falish's arms, she's a renegade, is at arms dealer. She is not still tethered to the League, but a lot of her equipment has ended up in the hands of people who are kind of like Krenko. Basically, a lot of folks who are arguably not for the law and not for the balance. They're doing a lot of things that are quite illicit. And this contact that you are speaking with, the reason why this becomes very quickly interesting to you is they don't say it outright, but you're able to kind of elucidate from the dialogue what your contact is saying. And it sounds like the Orzhov are basically skimming money, or basically are acting as a connection point between this renegade Izette and another group of individuals who happen to be members of the Demir. Basically, from what you're gathering, the way she's kind of talking, it sounds like the Orzhov are kind of acting as a front and kind of a segue point for this trafficking.
So essentially, we're taking a cut of.
You're acting as a mediator.
Her back alley deals, essentially.
Yeah, they're acting as a mediator between this renegade and the Demir.
Alright. That's good to know. It means I probably don't want to shut down her operation completely then.
Right. Last but not least, big boys on campus. You guys are basically going around and kicking up some dust. Unless you're trying to do it subtly, which didn't sound like that was the case. Am I right in that?
Nope.
That's what I thought. That's what I like. Okay, and you very quickly find some goblins who turn up some information. And point A leads to point B, and point B leads to point C, and so on. And you gather a lot of information. In particular, Krenko's absence has hurt his gang's reputation. Other gangs have basically encroaching on his territory, and a lot of people have been splintering from his gang to join the Shatter Gang and other groups. It's only a matter of time before there's another power struggle to try and kind of keep people in this organization, in Krenko's gang. And it might be the case that it'll end up being just a complete takeover by another gang. 10th Street is a bustling center of trade and the territory of the Shatter Gang brothers. They have become emboldened since Krenko was put away, and are ready for war to take out his gang once and for all. So it's about to get loud, even though Krenko, his break hasn't even been mentioned on the streets yet, which there's no mention of that yet. Every time you ask for Krenko directly, Krenko's in prison, Krenko's in Sawtooth, Krenko's in the Clinker. You're just not getting much besides that. Foundry Street is where you'll find manufactured facilities for the 10th District, and it's Krenko's gang's turf. His enforcers are still squabbling over who should lead. For now, they all have an uneasy truce with each other. So there's a lot of the heads beneath Krenko are trying to kind of jockey for power, but none have asserted. And then some goblins were pulling up a sewer grate at a very early hour west of the plaza. They didn't look like maintenance workers and threatened anyone that came too close. The approximate location of this incident is obtained. You know about where that is. And last but not least, the important note. Sorry, bear with me here. Foundry Street. A group of goblin gang members that you kind of get close to in the last beat of that. You interrogate one of them before, noticing that they're kind of muscling in on you. So I'm going to give you two options here. You as a pair could try and go in. It looks like there's probably 8 of them in total, which is a lot. To try and pick, I meant to say you can go in and try and pick one off of 8 of them and try and take him and interrogate him with that charisma check you rolled, or you can stop here, keep your charisma intimidation check that you rolled for those interrogation purposes, but you can leave here, go back to the meetup point, gather your crew, and return. Your call.
Do I think that I can do it?
Make an intelligence history check for tactics.
Oh man, 5.
Definitely not. You know you'd be outnumbered, and even though you are larger, goblins' blades are sharper.
Yeah, not worth.
Jardax, we must go rally the group.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so about 3.5, 4 hours pass, and it's pretty dark out. As you guys were in the afternoon portion, and the sun has fallen well behind the buildings. You know that Nasius kind of expected expedition in this regard, but nothing unrealistic. You guys regroup outside of the prison. A guard kind of looks to you all as you assemble, but realizes you were there not too long ago and just kind of ignores you. What do you do?
My contacts in the syndicate have come through. I found some information about what's this girl named about Falish. I believe it to be a dead end. She's a renegade, is it leaguer, and I doubt we'll be able to catch her before Krenko makes his escape. I'm hoping you guys came up with something a little more juicy.
We did. And then I tell them about the goblin.
Nice. Let's do that.
Okay. So you guys turn around and head right back to Foundry Street to kind of just continue throwing up smoke, right?
Well, that was what Trevik wanted to do anyway, so yeah.
So our plan is to go find this group of goblins and then try to punch them all in the head and bleed and then grab one.
Get more information.
Sounds like we're playing D&D, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Come with me, guys. We go back the way we just were.
Perfect. Okay. You do find that same group, but they're a little bit more relaxed. It looks like they're drinking something, and also a couple of them are smoking something as well. The device that they're using to smoke, Orzov, Ines, you would recognize seems to be a device that's utilized by Izzet members, and is sometimes sold to folks on the street by Izzet leaguers for currency. But yeah, there's about 6 of them now, not 8. And yeah, you can attempt to engage with them through conversation, but based on their stature, you're pretty sure that the 4 of you will have no problem kind of standing up front if you don't want to straight out fight them. So just let me know if you are engaging them hostilely or coming up and trying to talk to them.
I think
They just... Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say I speak Goblin, guy. So if you want, I can go in there, follow my lead. I can try and talk to them. They don't seem hostile at this moment, and we can kind of see what happens. And if things go sour, you follow me, then we jump.
How are they just sitting on the side of the street? Like, or are they
Yeah.
like a back alley or something?
Yeah, they're just sitting on a. They're just sitting there, kind of hanging out in like a back alley, just hanging out.
How crowded is this, like the street that we're on?
Street's pretty crowded for the area. Seems like a lot of people at this hour are kind of getting off of work, kind of moving back to their locations. I mean, it's Foundry Street, so it's late goers are exiting their job and heading back home, and a lot of folks are heading to their jobs.
Any city guard like patrolling or anything?
No Legion, and no. My brain's not working, but the other one.
Azorius?
Yeah, that's the one. None of them. Not too many guilders, guild types around this area, actually, besides yourselves.
Yeah, before Jardax leaves, I kind of put a hand on one of his corded muscles. I'm just like, don't worry. There doesn't seem to be too many guards around. If you need this to go south, we can make it go south.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, you walk up on them and say,
What was the main intent of us pursuing these goblins in the first place? Like, what angle are we, like, what information are we trying to get?
Where
Krenko.
Krenko is, right?
Where Krenko is? Yeah, okay. So then, with the goblin chitter and clack, I'm gonna come up and say, "Where's your master?"
Our master? What? Who are you talking about?
Krenko.
Krenko. And he kind of looks at you. And then looks at everybody else. And I'm assuming you're kind of leaning in on him.
Yeah, if he's gonna still play coy, I'm just gonna straight grab his like shirt and start picking him up and
Yep.
say again, Krenko.
The second you do, you can see that the other goblin's hands kind of go for weapons, but he's kind of like holding his hands up, kind of gesturing with his hands, and he says, Krenko, Krenko, he's in his hideout. It's and he kind of just utters the location of a warehouse. And as he kind of finishes that statement, I'd like everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh God, 7.
Okay.
18.
A 13.
Okay. And Joe?
Can I roll?
Didn't? No. There it goes. Yeah.
22.
Ha.
Oh.
Okay. So, Trovik, you kind of, and Jardax, the two of you kind of drop down low and kind of like freak out. The other two kind of react in like a casual response. But the reason why you are reacting at all is because somewhere down the way on Foundry Street, you hear 3 very loud detonations that go off at the same time. Massive explosions. One very close to where you're located, and 2 probably a little bit a ways down the way. This action actually causes you to drop the goblin, Jardax, and the 6 of them just beat feet. Like, ah! And you can see a lot of the people in the streets are doing likewise, as it seems like explosions have kind of rung through the street.
Well, we got what we came for. It's time to figure out what those explosions were.
Yep.
And start like heading that way.
Okay.
Once I like collect myself.
Make a perception check.
Sure.
Actually, Joe, do so as well.
An 11.
Alright. So you guys don't notice it until you guys are pretty much up on the scene, but you come to what looks like a blown out warehouse. Not the same address as the one you were given the information for, but it looks like it's been pretty much blown away by some massive explosion. When you do get there, though, you do notice that the scene has basically been set into control by members of the Azorius Senate. There are 20 soldiers who've kind of formed like an investigative group with 5 of them, kind of a control group with 5 more, and an outer perimeter with 10 of their soldiers as they've started to kind of cordon off the area. You do also notice that as you're kind of inspecting the group, there does appear to be one member of the group that is not a soldier. perhaps a guild mage for the Azorius Senate.
What happened here?
Are you asking one of the soldiers?
Yeah.
Gang violence. Please move along. Move along. No looky-loos. Get on with your business. The Senate has this under control.
Can we ask which gangs? Or fuck, I'm going to ask which gangs.
Please move along. The Senate has this under control.
Frustrated, dude. Fucking police.
Okay. Do you want to try and like convince them like to give you the information you want? Do you want to continue to muscle in on that, or do you want to just
I don't
walk away from the
muscle. I'm not trying to become a wanted criminal myself. At least not.
Sure. Would
I'm
want that.
smart enough to know my boundaries.
Okay,
As much as I dislike them.
that's fair.
Yeah. As Jark's talking, I'll kind of pull on his arm again. So, this is not our business. What did that goblin tell you?
Yeah. I think we should just go to the warehouse. We probably know who blew this up anyways. One of the many mentioned goblin gangs involved and all.
Yeah. Okay. So if you start heading that way, you do pass by another warehouse that's been blown out and destroyed along the Foundry Way to your location. This one isn't too far away from where you're located, but isn't the exact spot. And the same scenario has arisen. There are 20 soldiers, one guild mage, who have basically set up the area and have kind of detained it. Yeah, it looks like the Senate was very quick to respond to this gang activity. And you do notice that a lot of the people are following along and basically moving along, getting away from the scene.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I was gonna wonder whether or not the explosions were related to gang activity, but you just said they were. So could we assume that it's some of the gangs trying to ferret out?
Could be the case. Basically, it's a good question.
Like, do we notice anything about the nature of the explosions that would give us information about the kind of, like, whether it would be gang kind of explosions or some?
I get what you're asking.
Yeah, like a higher power or some shit, something we don't
Or
know
just
about.
just like the kinds of explosives that might be used by gangs
with the
versus
government.
by.
I get what you're asking. So basically, what you're going to want to do here is make me. I'm going to say a wisdom perception check.
14.
Okay. The building that the goblins were sitting outside of, the warehouse they were sitting outside of, not only does it have a very similar construction to the warehouses that are blown up, or so you'd presume based on the wreckage, but it also seems that they're kind of an equidistant and decent amount of space away from each other, block-wise. Like, if you were to set up safe houses, these might be the locations you set up.
Right. So then, could we kind of triangulate where would be other safe houses?
Well, no.
In that kind of circle.
You kind of
that they
have
might-
like a couple of locations present to you, but you were given by these guys, or these goblins that you messed with, a specific location, a specific warehouse.
Yeah, the one warehouse, right?
That's right.
Damn, they told Kevin the exact location?
They told him
Yeah.
a location.
23.
Yeah.
Well, they did
Nice.
tell him a location. I meant to roll an insight check on it, but it's
Yeah, no problem. If you want to go ahead and throw that, that's fine. I'll get to reading the description of the warehouse as you guys approach it. It's a large, soot-stained wooden building with a faded symbol of the Boros Legion that sits at the edge of a canal. Its timber is cracked and singed. A closed bay door faces north toward the water, and a wooden track runs from the building all the way to the edge of a pier. Excuse me. A similar door faces south toward the main street. On the alley sides of the building are two doors. A double door on the west side and a single door on the east side. based on its construction here, Andy, it looks like it used to be, or maybe still is, a warehouse that's used to store weaponry and equipment for Boros Legionnaires' use. Because the Legion isn't always moving. It's basically like the formation of a military to do things. So they sometimes keep their equipment stockpiled. You don't know if this one is active or not.
Am I familiar with these types of warehouses and how they might be laid out?
Yeah, if you've ever mustered before, not so much. I mean, you would just know that you would report into the office, which you presume would be the double door, and that's where you would be. You would sit and wait for them to when you requisition your equipment.
I think we should do like a circuit around the warehouse, to see if there are any other entrances that might be less obvious that we can.
Yeah, and specifically, I want to look for a sewer grate. Sewer
Yep.
entrance around this building.
100%.
Okay. So, what you're seeing is, let me explain it basically. On the west side of the building, you have the double door, right? And then you presume that leads into the office. On the south side of the building, you have a very large, massive, like, bay door. And there is a train track, or perhaps just like a cart track, that runs into that door and goes underneath the door in question. Around the far side, on the east, there's a single door and a grouping of boxes around and about there. And then if you were to go to the north side of the building, which is a bit precarious because it's on a riverbank, or a canal perhaps, and there's a wooden passageway, a large, massive bay door as well, and it looks like the train track goes out onto a pier that goes out over the water.
That seems like the way, man.
Think so?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like the least obvious way. It might be hard to get to, but maybe we'll get in unaware.
Are there any lookouts or
Now, real
guards
quick,
or anything?
are you guys doing this kind of trying to stay stealthy or
Yep.
So we're
stealth
just
checks?
observing right now, right?
Yeah, stealth checks from a lot of you.
Oh, fuck.
Like, all of
4.
us.
I gotta
Yeah.
fail. Critical fail.
I got a 15.
16. Oh,
18.
invisible. We're the best.
So
yeah, the big giant guys.
I'm just hiding behind you.
Travik has a moment when you guys are kind of walking around the outside. There's like a box that, he's kind of a big, tall minotaur. Walks proudly, probably keeps his nose up because he's a member of the Legionnaire, or the Legion rather. And he just kind of steps into a box and it breaks open. Everyone kind of looks at him, and he kind of shakes the box off of his leg and then kind of quietly goes along with you guys. But other than that one moment where there's a scare, you guys are fine. Joe and Steve, go ahead and make wisdom perception checks.
17.
You guys are also
Elf
very
eyes.
quick to notice that the north side of the building is now off limits to you at this point, because you see that the Azoria Senate is moving in high traffic out on the street, and if you're to start perusing around a building, you're going to want to do so stealthily, which you have been doing, but you're pretty sure if you go out to the front and start kind of making a scene, the Senate will probably notice that you are being suspicious, and they are probably out on the lookout for
Wait,
some
the
suspicious.
north side is the riverside. Are they in boats or something?
No, sorry, not the north side, south side. I
Okay,
apologize.
okay.
You're
So
right,
that would be
you're right.
The
I was
bay door
like,
side with
it's
the
like, damn, these guys are on the patrol boats, the Coast Guard. And with...
It's it's like the Florida, like Miami cocaine boats. Yeah, they got and the blue lights, blue and white lights. Woo, woo.
There's one guy in a Hawaiian shirt, it's Magnum, PI,
Yeah.
Azorius.
Right, linen.
So
So
They're all
wooden
the dog
passageway in.
So yeah, there's a single door on the east side. There is a double door on the west side. The north side is now off limits to you. And then there's a very large door very large. I'm talking like 40 feet wide door.
Like a door to a hangar or something.
Yeah, it's basically a big ass double door. And you presume that they roll up. But yeah, on that north side is the big ass door.
So the north side is the river passage side, and we can still go in that way, but we can't go in the south way, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Yeah. So we're ready on that north side. Let's try to go in that way.
John, how long have we spent investigating?
Probably about 20 or 30 minutes.
Alright.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. With that perception check too, you would notice that from your position on the north side, there does appear to be a goblin sitting near the railway on the big double door. Here, I'll go ahead and make this easier for you. Hold on.
So on the south side, that is okay.
Yeah. Oh no, the north side. The north side.
Okay.
Here, I'm just gonna put you guys on a map. So you
I'm
kinda
drawing
see
it.
what
I'm
talking
having trouble.
about. Yeah, no problem.
If we're gonna go into these bay doors, we're most likely giving up the element of surprise. Because in order to get them, we're either gonna have to push it open and it's gonna be loud as all hell, or we're gonna have to break it down, which is gonna be loud as all.
Then the other way is the least obtrusive way is the east side. Then maybe right, the single door.
Yeah, like you guys are all burly. I have no doubt you guys could break this thing down, no problem. I'm just pointing it out there that we lose all. There's gonna be no element of surprise. They're gonna know
Yeah.
exactly what's about to throw down.
You can steal yourselves then.
Well, another
Do
thing to keep
Minotaurs
in-
have dark vision?
Don't think so?
I don't think so.
And neither do you Loxodon, right?
No.
I have dark vision, but I just can't see shit.
Yeah, it's just you that has it.
Is that why it's so dark? So all I see is black.
Top right corner.
Oh, got it now.
It is dark. It is nighttime. But yeah, you do see, this is the north side, basically, as I described it. The alleyway that we discussed is just south of you. Do you see it? It's like the three.
Should we all see it?
Yeah, it's like a. Do you see anything?
I see everything
Negative.
black.
Everything
Right.
is black. Completely black.
Yeah, I see
How about
stuff, but
I see my token, but everything else is completely black.
I
Okay.
don't even see a token.
So you guys don't have light. Is there anything you guys want to do about that? It is completely pitch out here, so.
I cast light a torch on myself.
Okay. Now about now.
There we go. Oh yeah, we're good now.
Okay. So what you're able to see here is that there is that guard, that goblin guard. Especially the elf. The elf can definitely see him. But the torchlight that you're utilizing, it's not like just a simple torch. It's got a bit of a craftsmanship to it. It'll definitely hold out for a bit longer than a regular torch in D&D would. You see the riverway, you see the goblin, and the alleyways to the south of you.
We expect the goblin can see us with the light now.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's terribly interested in you guys. You guys aren't really being suspicious because you all rolled pretty good on your stealth. To him, he just sees a group of 4 gilded who are just kind of walking around doing their business. He doesn't presume, or doesn't seem to presume anything. He pulls out one of those strange e-cigarettes and starts taking a he's like just getting his vape on.
I mean, at this point, if we want to get in, that we just go in, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
He knows we're there. We can question him.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to going in loud.
I mean, sneaking in another way doesn't seem to make sense now.
I can try to get rid of him without any bloodshed.
Well, that's no fun.
Damn, dude.
Maybe at first it's a good idea. I still don't have vision of anything. I'm supposed to be able to see
Yeah,
stuff.
if we could easily dispose of him, why not? If you want to try.
Alright, so what I want to do is I'm going to approach him. I'm going to reach my satchel and pull out and hold him between my fingers. As I go up
Okay.
to him, I'm gonna cast Friends on him. And I'm gonna say, the boss said to take the night off. Here, why don't you go treat yourself to a good meal? It's a cold night.
Make a deception check with advantage.
Uh, 16.
Pretty solid. Okay, hold on a second here. He nods his head and kind of just gets up and starts walking away. He does look cautiously at the others as he passes by, but he starts heading out down the alleyway.
Nice work.
Yeah, and then I kind of gesture with my hands to like come quick if we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're doing so, Joe, you kind of hear a noise. It's a noise to the south, and then you hear some goblin speech happening down the alleyway. If you kind of step out and look, you'll see that it looks like another goblin gang member has exited out of the side door, and looks like he was getting ready to kind of take a position to start smoking his cool cigarette and do anything. And they are talking in goblin, which you can overhear, Kevin, and you understand. The first question he asks is, "Hey, what are you doing?" I got the night off. Yeah, they just told me. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to sit here and bug me, I'm on my break. I'll go back in here in a bit. How's he doing? He's doing all right. He's getting stuff set up. We'll have this portion of the city back in no time. And they just sit there.
When
kinda puff,
When
puff,
I
puff.
hear them reference like him, I'm gonna look at the rest of the group and like give them a nod and be like, he's here. Like, it's time. The time to strike. We just rush him?
All right, let's go.
Can
I go.
Can I rush him?
You can do what you want. If you guys are starting in combat, I want you to roll initiative. You will have surprise, of course, but I just want you to roll initiative.
Can you put up a tracker?
I will.
Oh, solid 5.
Solid 10.
19.
I'm just missing Joe.
Yeah. I'm in trouble. Good. Good to go.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Pretty tight rolls, except for that loser. Okay.
Ouch.
Sucks to suck, man.
All right, Steve. You see, basically, I would presume a bit of a flustered look from Jardax as he kind of gets the gumption that this is going down, and it's going down like full-on gruel style. You see him kind of huff like a minotaur would do, and like start pressing his hoof against the ground like he's going to start rushing some fools. It looks like it's game time. There is no turn for the goblins, but you guys are still in Surprise Town. What would you like to do?
Kind of rub my temples because I thought we were gonna try to do this stealthily and without too much incident, but leave it to the gruel. So what I'll do is I'm going to come over here.
Make a perception check.
13.
Good enough. Back on the street, the way you came in on the south side of the building, you still see signs of torchlights passing by as members of the Senate keep moving through.
Alright, that being said, I'm going to move up here. I'm going to kind of twirl my spear and hold it in a defensive position over my shield. Take the dodge action and kind of be our backline.
Okay.
And we're gonna, just as a free action, gonna look over to Jardax. If we're doing this, keep this quiet. There's there's a thick patrol on the street.
They speak in Goblin a bit, and you hear the one that you commanded kind of look over at you and go, "Hey, that's the lady who told me I was off." The other Goblin kind of looks over and goes, "Huh?" But here. That's Joe. What you doing?
Yeah. I'm just gonna double move and barrel on down the hallway.
Okay. Big old Yloxodon. They definitely kind of get the fear of Jumanji in their hearts as that starts to happen, and you do look. It does look like they're kind of reaching for weaponry. Trovik.
Yeah. So let's see. Could I see? Okay. Where are they? Are they directly in front? They're over here.
No, they're around the
Down.
corner. So
They're around the corner.
you'll see them. Yeah, because the light went that way.
Trying to see my speed. Okay.
30.
Do I have to go in a straight line? Shoot. I want to do that Minotaur thing where I could...
Goring Rush.
Goring Rush.
So Goring Rush.
I don't have to move in a straight line. Okay.
Yeah, doesn't say that's the case. Sweet 30. Immediately after you use the
ample
dash action, you charge, and then it's a bonus action you can take.
Actually, I don't need to use the dash action. I think
No,
I'm good.
Goring Rush states immediately after you use the dash action on your turn
Okay.
and move at least 20 feet, you can make one melee attack with your horns as a bonus action. And then Hammering Horns would be the attack
Hammering
action,
Horns.
if you want to use it. Or you just use your regular melee weapon.
Let's try it. So I use Hammering Horns and then Goring Rush. Is that the...
Oh no, Hammering Horns. Sorry, Hammering Horns is different. You just use
Hammering
your horns.
Yeah.
So I would do a horn attack,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would do the Goring Rush.
Well, no, Goring Rush. All Goring Rush says is when you take the dash action,
Oh, okay.
you can move really far and take a bonus action to make a horn attack at the end. So you're going to take that bonus action and make the horn attack.
So I'm not actually. I can make this distance, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to use the regular attack.
Okay.
Does that hit?
Let's see. It does.
So I do 12 slashing damage.
Confused, the goblin falls to the ground. His weird device hitting the ground, the glass of it breaking, liquid kind of oozing out from it, and blood just rushing out from him. Okay, they are no longer surprised after this point. Jardax, you are up.
Smash it.
Goring Rush.
Okay, make a horn attack.
13.
13 misses. He kind of gets aside and does not get stabbed by horns. Okay. Cool. Real-time initiative. He kind of looks to you and says, "What are you doing?" In common, "We didn't do anything wrong. This is murder." Steve, what
I
would
guess
you
you
like
talk.
to do? And he yells sorry. He yells it really loud, and those Azoria Senate lights that you saw on the street stop, and you're pretty sure they're looking down this way.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he's not wrong. And with that being said, I just move back here, or I'm gonna move up. I'm just gonna kind of distance myself a little and take the dodge action again, and just remain in defensive posture. Like I'm worried that I might be next. These savages.
All right, Batir.
Is this a door? Here?
Yeah, this
That's
thing
what a
here.
door looks like.
Mhm.
John, left?
Yeah, that's a door. I pinged it. Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna walk right there, not giving a crap if the opportunity attack. I'm gonna kick the door open.
Okay. All right. When you pop open the door, bear with me here for a second. So this is the main room, and you are on the higher up portion, kind of looking down. You can see a bunch of boxes, bunch of rubble, and just kind of a weakened interior. There's bits and pieces kind of broken off of portions of this catwalk that you're up on. But it would seem that actually no, you'd be coming up on the catwalk. So no, you'd be coming up under the catwalk. Apologies. Right in front of you, there's just a series of stairs, a staircase that spirals up, and up above you, about 10 feet, there is a catwalk. And so you're just kind of underneath it. There are a couple of small like beams that are set along the outside of the 5-foot square you're in that kind of hold up the catwalk above you. But yeah, other than that, the chamber kind of looks like an empty exclusionary warehouse. You presume the office is directly across it from you based on the door placement. And you don't take an opportunity attack yet unless you move deeper into the chamber, the place.
Fair enough. Just hanging out.
Okay. What do you want to do with your action?
I guess I'll move again.
Yeah, you can dash, or you can take the dodge action.
How far of a drop is that?
Oh, you're not up. You're not up. You're below.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd just be moving under the stairs.
Alright, I see the door to the office.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's my whole turn. And I'm not gonna yell anything back, right?
Okay. Travik, what are you doing?
I'm gonna follow the light.
Okay.
Because the Loxodon has the light, so I'll go to him.
Okay. Alright. The goblin does not make any attacks even though he's got a weapon out. Once it gets to his turn, he's going to take the dodge action, and then he's going to take the disengage action as a bonus action because he's a goblin. Fast little bugger too. And kind of rushes over to this strange looking device that you see that's kind of lost in the boxes and kind of just looks at it. Looks like he does something to it. You're not sure what. Jardex.
The hell is this, a staircase?
You're underneath it. Yeah. The staircase goes up to the catwalk.
I guess I'm gonna... Can I see him? Like, can I make him out?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see him.
I'm gonna try and Goring Rush him.
Okay.
So dash, get the rest of the way, and
Make your attack.
26.
17, actually, because he was dodging, but it still hits.
8.
Okay. You hit him with your horn, kind of smash into him harshly. He hits the ground and kind of scurries back up onto his feet, bleeding, kind of looking at you. Ah! Alright. On initiative 1, if anybody is still in the alleyway,
It's just me.
yeah. So you'd be able to kind of look over your shoulders and see that about 5 of these soldiers of the Senate are basically moving their way into the alleyway. And looks like they are intent on advancing towards that door at the start of their turn on initiative 1. Looks like the lead one has a light that appears to be just magical light that's glowing in his hand. Alright, Steve
He's too far away from, like, they're still a ways down because I can't see them at all.
should be able to see him now.
Nope. There we go. Oh, there's quite a few of them.
5 of them, like I said. Yep. Yeah, it looks like they're heading towards that door. And they have weapons drawn. Okay. Also on Initiative 1, Minotaur, you feel pretty confident in the fact that this is just a little goblin. No big deal. You should be able to take him. Up until the fact that the big pile of metal and scrap that looks like some sort of device behind him activates, and you see blue energy start glistening through like sockets that appear eye-like, and it starts to rise up behind the goblin and kind of take a defensive posture over it.
What does the goblin do?
Oh, Goblin looks like he's just smiling now, kind of holding his wound from where the gore hit. Like the tides have turned, baby. Steve, you are up, and yeah.
All right, thinking how I best want to play this. Is there light coming out from the doorway?
No. Other than the light just a very faint light, that was the Loxodon's light.
Alright. So what I'm going to do then... I want to get here.
Okay. The immediate response to that is a free action from the Senate. And they yell, "Halt!"
Yep. What I want to do is use my action to cast Thaumaturgy to close. And then, as my free action, I just want to be like, oh my gosh, thank goodness! This band of marauders, they killed this poor fellow.
Oh
they
no!
headed north.
Make a deception check.
Oh god. Oh, crit.
Oh my
Come on.
god!
Towards the river, you say?
I am from the Syndicate. I am the king.
Towards the river, you say?
They had it looked like some sort of small rowboat or something. I don't know.
Cut. Batir, you're up.
What's behind door number 2?
Door is locked.
I can't get it open.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check to try to.
Big monster right around there.
Okay. Your big ass elephant foot hits against the door, but it's just the weakest elephant kick you've ever seen.
Oh, ow!
Yeah. Pretty sturdy door. Alright. Any other movement, or are you good?
Would you say since I failed to check that I would be my action to try to kick
That was your action to try and open it, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Travik.
Yep.
The
Travik's
door
gonna
behind
move
you,
right
by the
here.
way, shut loudly.
Okay. Travik's gonna move right here and look at the goblin and say, "Tell it to stand down." Meaning the.
And he just spits at you. Fuck you.
Wait, I can't try to intimidate him.
You can give it a shot. You have disadvantage for the check. I'm winning.
I failed.
Yeah. The fight has changed very, very drastically.
Okay, so was that a free action or? To say
No, that was your action to
The
intimidate.
action was to try to. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys are basically ganging up on this single goblin, thinking you've got him, you notice that from the shadows more movement is seen as well. As you just ran into a gang's freaking lair. There's movement up on the balcony up above you. And there's movement from behind. And yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and the goblin who was attacked will take the disengage action, and he will board himself into the loading rig. So he is now gone and a part of that creature, and he will act. With the loading rig. Hold on a second. Lightning seems to spark off of it, kind of pulsing around its arms as he kind of gets into it and it closes around him. And he is going to just slam on some people. Alright, so first attack I'll go with against Trovik, second attack I'll go with against Jardek. So 10 misses,
Yep.
and 13 misses. Alright. Cool. That is his, and then the other goblins will move into positions of combat. One, two, three, four. I've got 4 goblin gang members who will be using their light crossbows. They're all shooting at Jardak because he's not behind boxes. So first attack against Jardak, second attack against Jardak, third attack, fourth attack. What's your AC?
16.
Okay.
16 hits, right?
So 2 hits. So you're taking a total of
Oh, I'm down.
16 piercing damage.
Oh shit.
Should have got mad.
I didn't have a chance, dude. I act last.
Jardak's death saving throw. 1 success. Steve, you hear sounds of combat, but they're pretty muted. And on initiative 1, the Senate members will move up. Their passive perception doesn't appear to be good enough to hear what you're hearing. So they are absolutely moving towards what you suggest. However, 2 do stay behind and 3 continue on. They all take the dash action. 1 is moving up to the dead gang member. The other one's moving up to you. And as he's doing so, you see he's pulling out what appears to be a small tablet. Like a piece of paper tablet, not like a iPad tablet. And he says, "Okay, ma'am, we're here. We're going to take care of everything. Those 3 are going to chase after. This one's going to check this dead fellow. And I'd like for you to just lower your weapon there. And tell me exactly what you saw." And it looks like he's just kind of smiling at you with the piece of paper. What would you like to do?
I just told him what I told before. I was minding my own business, came this way, saw this poor goblin being mugged, and then he was killed, and then they hadn't. But if you'll excuse me, I have some more official guild business to take care of, and I kind of my hand over my signet, like,
Oh,
you know what I'm doing might need some. Like, come on, I'm
perfectly acceptable.
money don't grow on trees.
We're currently looking for someone of great importance who just caused a pretty large act of terrorism on the Foundry Street. So I do understand that you have some guild business, but I am going to have to be pretty thorough with you, my lady. It shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. I hope that doesn't press too hard into your day. Make a insight check.
$14.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that what he just called, there's no measure of statement regarding your guild or anything that's going to allow you to pass out of this questioning. And any attempt to do so will probably lead to incarceration, or at least conflict with this soldier.
Question. It's still raining, right?
It's raining a bit, yeah.
What is it? Mask of the Wild, I've never used it before. Am I able to hide in plain sight using it, as long as there's like natural rain in store? Like,
Yes, I would say so, but because he's adjacent to you,
it's just too obvious.
like vanishing from him If you attempt it and fail, like you don't make a good enough to hide check and fail, he's probably going to take that as either a hostile action or an incarceratable action. Do you want to risk it?
No.
Okay. Then
He wants a couple of minutes. I'll tell him I give him 30 seconds.
Okay.
Because time is money.
He kind of gives you like a begrudging shrug, but still like holding his body over his paper, starts asking you questions, which don't seem to have anything to do with the current circumstances, but they just sound like textbook questions in regards to explosions. Okay.
And I answer them as best I can, but my answers probably aren't going to help him very much.
Exactly. Basically, I'm just taking you out of the combat for half of a minute. So,
Yeah, good luck, boys.
have fun. But Tyr, you're up. You turn over your shoulder after kicking the door and see that this large rig thing and a bunch of goblins with crossbows have laid down your cruel companion.
Hello?
I can see.
Yeah,
no,
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the map. I don't
His-
see where Jardax
Sorry, his eyes are spinning.
and that.
Here.
Oh, that's Jardax. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could tell that Joe's eyes are spinning. He's trying to tactical mind it.
I am going to hold or ready. I can't remember which it is in this edition, but my action is at the very bottom. Just before, after all the other enemies have gone, I want to use lay on hands on Jardax.
Got it.
Basically, I want to vanguard him before that. Just
Got it.
kind of here, ready with my shield up to guard against this monster.
Basically, after they've performed their attacks, you're going to, and you're also kind of interposing yourself. You're going to then use your heal instead of before. Got
Yeah,
it.
if it works out that way.
We'll see. Andy, Travik, the situation looks pretty dire. You do see that there are some lights that are shining in the office space across the way as well, just from underneath the door and whatnot, which you presume means that whoever's in there might be aware of your presence as well. What would you like to do?
So the automaton has reach on me.
It doesn't look like it does, actually. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has
Okay.
reach or anything.
And this area, that's not really where we are right now. That's a side passage.
No, there's an underneath and an above. It's about 10 feet off of the ground, and it's like a catwalk. The factory is about 20 feet high. So 10 feet off of the
So this
ground,
is-
there's a catwalk, and you can go underneath it, but the only way up that you can see is that staircase.
The staircase is where?
It's this weird spirally thing behind you.
The weird spirally thing behind me. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start taking care of the goblins, I guess.
Okay.
I'm going to
They're-
go to the staircase and...
Okay. All right. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I did click it.
Okay.
Hold on.
There it goes.
Here we go.
Yeah,
7.
you make it up about 10 feet, like almost to the top there. You're about to come around the bend to start walking up that way. And then the entirety of the staircase underneath you just breaks out under your weight because you're pretty big. Strength and con is for chumps. And you fall 10 feet, hit the ground, are prone, and take 6 points of damage.
Ugh. Brutal.
Bludgeoning, if that matters. But yeah, the stairs just fall out from underneath of your big old body, and you hit the ground.
So
All right.
lame.
You guys definitely, like, we'll talk more in a bit.
Listen, dude, this is how we do things.
It's fine.
Stupidly.
The goblin gang members. I'm going to lead with the loading rig.
Woke up this morning, was like, this is going to be the easiest 100 Xenos I'm ever going to make. Now I'm talking to the police.
The automaton, the loading rig rather, will attack I'm going against the Yoloxodon. I can't hit him. And then the goblins will kind of see this situation kind of unfolding the way it is. One of them kind of bolts out across the way and dashes to get to the door. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, but it's basically 50 feet running around instead of through. The one up top kind of whistles, and you can see that another one's kind of moving in that direction quickly, running over to his ally from the far side. And then the one that's behind you on ground level still will fire a shot at and the one that's up to the north too. We'll both take shots at Joe. Nope. They both actually, their crossbows jam and the crossbows just kind of pink, like fall like 5 feet as their strings break on their crossbows, and they throw them off to the ground. They shatter on the ground and they start reaching for blades. That's one up top and one on ground level. Okay.
Understood.
All right.
You guys got lucky.
You got lucky there.
Jardax, right before you have to make your death saving throw, is healed with how many points? 5, right?
5 hit points.
There you go. On,
Oh my god.
on initiative 1, the dashing of the soldiers continues. This is round 2.
Yeah, I lied.
Oh.
I lied. 4 hit points.
Okay.
4?
Great.
No, it's smart.
Keep 1.
Keep 1.
They rush out onto the scene and are looking for something that they were told about by that lady back there. You do watch as you're being talked to by this one in front of you. This would be round 2 again of your 30 seconds, which would be a total of 5 rounds. The other one is inspecting the dead goblin, kind of looking over his wound, paying close attention to it. You're pretty sure that this one appears to be trained in kind of medicine, kind of is looking at all the right kind of stuff, and is figuring out how this guy died by, if I recall correctly, Slamma Jamma Battle Axe Town. Alright,
Yep.
That's your
So
turn.
I told him it was a Marauder. Big weapon guy.
That's your turn, Steve. He says, yeah, probably gangers or maybe a gruel or something. I don't know. You're like, whoa.
I don't know about that, Chief.
This guy's
I don't
great.
know. Those unwashed guys are so gross. Whatever.
But here, you are up. Your turn having been completed. You don't reset your initiative in this edition, so it's your turn.
Swinging on the big.
Give it to me. All right.
12 to hit.
That will miss. Basically, you hit large plate and kind of grinds against it. Your Morningstar kind of chipping aside. It leaves like a series of sparks and scratches. The black kind of steel of it, kind of inlaid with like gold filigree, kind of carves this white pattern in color. It looks like it's not actually made out of Mizium, which is what they were trying to convey with that kind of like black and gold kind of outer exterior. But it does appear to be some sort of magical construct that's driven by man, or in this case, goblin. All right.
Alright. And is there an obvious person at a control switch?
No, he's kind of hiding in the back, like hidden in armor. He's actually inside of it. The one that you beat the crap out of jumped into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was my action.
All right. Travik.
I'm going to stand up
Half your movement.
and I'll move here. And I will cast Heroism on Joe. So he
Okay.
gets 3 temporary hit points.
Yep. And he gets 3 temporary hit points at the start of his turns. They don't stack.
Yes.
So you
For
just
1 minute.
keep getting 3 temporary hit points at the start of your turn. Max 3. And then that's it, right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Well, Jardax hasn't gotten up yet, and this Euloxodon appears to be the biggest threat.
Bring the pain!
This goblin just threw his crossbow down in anger after the string broke, and he's drawn a blade, so he's coming up behind the Eloxodon. This guy right here is going to be a little bit more daring. He jumps down from the higher floor, hits the boxes which are about 5-6 feet high. When he hits it, he falls off to the side and lands prone here, but the box broke his fall. He's just prone. And once he gets down there, he also just kind of reaches over and grabs his weapon. He has no more movement to get up and do stuff. Then the other ones, there are 2 more up at the top. They do have their crossbows still, so they will shoot. Having moved in such a way, the Eloxodon's not really targetable behind the construct, so I'll be shooting at the Minotaur who's standing. I'll give you partial covers, a +2 to your AC on these attacks. Not that you needed them, but you do notice that another crossbow breaks, and another one's thrown off to the side because it's just...
Yes!
The goblin that's at the door yells something in Goblin. Jardax, as you're kind of coming to from the healing, you hear it say, Krenko, Krenko, we've got guests, we gotta deal with them. And the cops are just outside.
Boy.
Right. On initiative 1. Or, sorry, initiative 5, Jardax, you're up.
When I get up, hearing that Krenko's here, I'm gonna yell, "He's here!" And I go into barbarian rage. And then I gonna destroy this goblin standing next to me.
Okay. Oh, he didn't make his attack. I totally forgot to stab with him. Hold on. He missed anyway. Go ahead. Damage him. You hit it.
15.
Yeah. Alright. So he kind of stabs, it hits the back of the Eloxodon, and you kind of shrug, like, looking over your shoulder just for a second. And then you see this big hammer just come out of nowhere and just smash the goblin, and just kind of... Alright.
Remember, you get bonus. I don't think you needed it, but you get bonus damage while you're raging. It's like 2.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna spend my movement. Guess I'm gonna rush over at this goblin. Just grill him.
Okay.
That's it.
Alright. On initiative 1, that door opens. And you see a larger goblin, still a goblin, not a hobgoblin, standing there, and it seems like the room is filled with bigger boss goblins. He looks over the shoulder at you like, oh, hey, you want to party? Steve, make a wisdom perception check.
$16.
The sounds inside are getting a little louder, but this guy hasn't picked up on them yet. But you're pretty sure it's not going to be too much longer if the fight keeps going, that this guy's going to catch on.
I just kind of tap my foot annoyed. It's like, is there any way we can hurry this up? I'm on a very tight schedule. You know the people I answer to.
Okay.
They will not tolerate tardiness.
Roll a D100.
98.
You hear from the river, another of the soldiers yell, "Get over here quick! I think I see the boat she's talking about." And at the end of your initiative, basically on 1, they're going to dash that way. Both of the soldiers that remain.
Hurry, Steve!
Well done.
But that's at the end of your initiative. So on the next turn, you'll be able to do something. Alright.
Make it big.
Fatir.
Is there any way that I see that I could get the goblin out of the machine?
I'll allow you a free Arcana check.
I don't know nothing.
Nope.
I think about it, and then I swing at it instead,
Yeah, other than breaking it apart underneath him.
and I don't hit it. I got 10.
No, yeah, it's a miss.
I
Alright.
would like to step around this way, though.
Okay. Perfect. Trovik. There's a prone goblin in between those
That's
boxes.
the one.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
smush.
You have advantage. Yep. Damage.
Do you?
Go ahead.
You don't heal at all, do you?
No.
Oh,
Well, he
no,
can
so
heal
zero
himself.
points.
What's that?
Other
Oh,
than
no,
that,
he doesn't
you're
get second win till level 2. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, no, you guys kind of ran in hot. The goblin gets up off the ground, not dead but bleeding after getting mashed by a battle axe. Kind of pulls his dagger that he, reached for and got a hold of, and kind of just tries to jam it into the Minotaur.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Sure does.
For 4.
That's a problem for 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hanging on by a thread.
Then he'll use his bonus action to disengage and kind of back away, and then he has 10 more feet, so he'll go there. The goblin who's face to face with Jardak is like, will attack Jardak with his dagger after dropping his crossbow. Actually, he has his crossbow in hand. He's going to shoot with it. That's more realistic. So disadvantage. The string pops. The bolt goes wide. Roll a d100 for me there, Kevin.
It's your third one on crossbows.
Yeah, it kind of smacks him in the face, like the shot of it, and the bolt kind of reflects off of your armor, actually springing pretty far, and the ricochet flies right back into his own face, and he dies.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. You were right. Or wait, no, it's Steve. You were right, dude. John rolling this many ones, this ain't right.
It's not right. And basically,
It's literally a miracle.
as that goblin dies horribly and falls to the ground, the boss goblin kind of steps out, and he's going to go ahead and... hold on a second here. There we go.
Evan, don't you go down!
I mean, pray for another John 1, dude. It's rare, but it's happening.
Before the crit.
You have to hold the line!
I'm fucking trying, dude.
So this guy comes out and he just draws a single scimitar. He's going to make an attack with that. Here goes. Scratch that. That's super weird. He's going to be attacking with a spear. It's actually like a little javelin. And that misses. And then he's going to attack a second time with it. And this one's with disadvantage. Disadvantage. So 15 misses, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
So his attack with a scimitar, and he doesn't apparently have one equipped. That's cool. The other one will. I'll fix it before it gets to then. It does look like another goblin just like him comes out and is kind of looking over his shoulder. And it does sound like there's someone inside opening up a series of locks on a door.
Holy shit.
The loading rig,
God.
which I haven't forgotten about, by the way. The big old construct is going to beat the crap out of this elephant, I hope. And keep in mind the 3 temporary hit points is the green marker there on your character token. I hope I hit. Here we go. 15 misses, right?
Right.
And 11 misses.
Yes.
The boxes are getting slammed apart. The rubble he kind of came up out of is getting broken apart. It's just doing a lot of damage to not you guys. And it's smashing everywhere. And I still have... So this guy's below. These 2 are above. I'm going to put a little marker on them. The ones that are above. So that you know which ones are above. So they'll have a bright green circle designated on them if they are on the catwalk. And if they don't have one, they're on your level. Okay? And one of them broke its string, so he's going to jump down onto the boxes. Make a dexterity check. Lands on the boxes and is able to climb down with his dagger. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I can get in on that Euloxodon meat. 16 misses. And then the one up above who still has his crossbow will shoot. Hits! 8 piercing damage to the elephant, please. Alright. Jardax.
Damn, compelled duel is my action. I'm just gonna swing on. This is the boss, right?
It is a boss.
A boss? Alright, then
It
yes.
is not Krenko. You should know Krenko when you see him.
Wait, do I get advantage 'cause I'm raging?
No, you only do that if you say you're recklessly attacking, but I don't think you have reckless attack at first level.
You're right.
Dan, miss. That'll miss.
Can I make my hammering horns attack?
Yeah.
Oh, it's after you hit.
Oh, well, no. He's got a little buckler in his javelin, and he blocks. Kind of knocks your weapon aside. On one, the Senate members kind of look like they are gone. They've headed off to the east.
Hooray!
What do you do, Steve?
I come down here and I open this door and I walk in.
Expecting to see
So-
all sorts of fuckery. So the stairs in front of you are difficult terrain because they've broken, and they're just all over the floor. You see a dead goblin kind of in the center of the room, a large construct fighting against the Loxodon, the horns of the Minotaur peeking out above a box, and then on the opposite side of the room, you can see over the boxes there in the middle, you see another Minotaur currently engaged with bigger goblins.
Cool. I'm gonna move here. Is this goblin just standing here, or is he inside the?
No, that goblin's just standing there. The goblin that's inside the construct is inside the construct.
Like you can't even see him. He's inside.
Yeah, you can't even see him. In the picture art, in the card art, you can, but the way that the monster is described, it's kind of like he doesn't exist anymore.
And how's everyone looking? Anyone worse for wear?
The guy next to you
Yes.
is bloody. The guy across the way from you is bloodied. The only one that's not bloodied is the Euloxodon.
All right, cool.
Heal.
Keep Jardax up. I've got
Roger.
traffic.
All right. Do these guys, because they're up here, do they have any sort of cover, or is the catwalk pretty just?
It's pretty flimsy. You could see them. You could definitely shoot.
All right. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hurl my spear at this guy's 20 feet, so it should be fine.
Guy up there. Yeah, there's only one up there now. The other one's not up there.
Oh, he's not up there.
He's
okay, I'll
underneath. Yeah.
hurl my spear at the guy up there.
Okay.
19,
Hits damage.
6.
Okay, it hits him pretty hard, and he starts to bleed, but he doesn't fall.
And then bonus action healing word on Jardak,
Okay,
following the Loxodon's advice.
roll it.
So Kevin, what happens is, I guess what you see is kind of a manifestation of this like white light kind of surrounds you. You feel your wounds close. It almost looks like almost like a humanoid shape, and when it comes around your head, you hear a whisper in your ear. It just says, "Fight for me." I'm gonna use my voice of authority feature to allow Kevin to use his reaction to make an attack.
Yep. You can use your reaction now to make an attack against whatever you want.
Holy shit, what the hell?
Every time he casts a leveled spell on a creature, they can do that.
So I get to swing on this thing again.
If you'd like, yeah.
And yeah, so heal for 6 and swing it for me.
And you kind of motivations, you're not sure who's talking to you, and you take the swing, and it kind of gets blocked by the little buckler again. Okay, welcome to the fight, Steve. Did you close the door behind you when you entered in?
I didn't say I did, so I won't.
Yeah.
I won't metagame.
Okay, Batir.
Swing at this goblin. Goblins I know how to kill.
Ooh, damn. Oh, yeah. Well, in the spirit of hilarity, you chad this mofo. He is still standing, but you basically mollywop him in the side of the face, and you can see that his, like, you could hear just and feel, like, his face breaking against the maul, but he kind of turns and looks at you like,
He's got an eyeball hanging out.
yeah, he's gonna get you. Tropic, it is your up.
Yeah, I'm gonna use. Could I use the ring on myself?
The signet, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So I
You
get
cast
3.
heroism on yourself, and so you'll have 3
Yeah.
temporary hit points. At the start of each turn, you gain 3, so long as you don't have any. Or up to 3, maximum 3.
And would I know whether or not the Loxodon could heal me from a distance?
You're not sure.
Not sure. Crap. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna go beside him for the moment.
Okay. And that's your turn?
Yeah.
Goblin time. Alright, seeing the new problem, the one with the crossbow kind of gets back up from the shot and fires down. Because of the angle, it's kind of firing over that large box there, Steve. So you have +2 to your AC against this attack.
Sounds good.
Is that a... No, that's not another natural one. I was about to say, jeez.
Almost.
This wounded one's going to get back into the fray, seeing his friend get messed up. But he's going to come in with that dagger against the Yloxodon. That's going to miss. This little guy is not stupid. He's going to attack, and then he's going to dart, using disengage as a bonus action. He makes his way across the way there, running up over the steps that go over the cart there. It's kind of a walk up to the cart. The cart's in the middle there. Then the goblin bosses are going to yell something back in Goblin, and you understand what they say. They say, Krenko, get out of here, or stay if you like, whatever you want, boss. And you hear, yeah, damn right, from inside the room. This one has a javelin that I've already said he had. He attacks and misses. He attacks and misses. And real quick here, hold on a second. Oh, that's weird. Okay, hold on. Okay, the creature behind will step out into the room as well. This appears to be another boss, like the one you've been fighting, and he will attack you as well, Jardek. This one has a scimitar, and will do his attacks with it. Swing and a miss. He'll attack again, this one with disadvantage. Swing and a miss. And then you hear the sounds of another goblin kind of coming... Actually, no. You hear the sounds of a door opening. More goblins speak, saying, get the fuck in there, hold them off. And then you hear feet just beating it out in the rain as another goblin enters into that room behind the one. You can see this one doesn't look like Krenko, not to what you understand him to look like. Okay. I think that's all my goblins. Oh, loading rig, right. I'm going to go for one attack against the Loxodon and one attack against the Minotaur. So, Loxodon miss, Minotaur miss.
Yep.
Okay, holding up pretty well so far, ladies and gentlemen. Jardax, you're up.
Another swing with them all. 15.
That'll miss. Yeah, they block with their shields and hold the defense. I'm glad it's going bad-sided. Yeah. Real quick, Steve, let the fortunes favor you. Roll a D100 for me, please.
$96.
Okay, doing pretty well on the thing that you don't know is going to possibly influence this fight. Okay, you can take your turn.
Oh, hooray. Okay. Just make sure I'm in range of everything I want to hit with these things. Target up to 3 creatures. I'm going to cast Bane on the 2 bosses and the loading rig.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw?
Charisma.
Oh, even worse. Actually, even better. Okay, here we go. Success,
Damn.
success. In the rig. Failure?
Yeah, so just the rig failed.
Okay. So the rig is baned. So minus 1d4 from its attacks. Okay.
Yep.
Batir, unless you have any movement or bonus action.
You said, but Trovik looks pretty still bloodied, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna move and kind of just interject here.
Okay. Cut your spear out.
No, I that's up on the catwalk. I hurled that thing.
Oh, okay.
I run over. I draw my main,
Okay.
which at the head is also an Orzhov symbol. If you don't, I got faction pride.
Batir, you're up.
Is the rig stationary?
So far, it hasn't moved, but it does have legs.
I say as a free action, Trevor, do not fear death. If you fall, I will make you rise again.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. At the goblin.
Okay. At the goblin, that'll hit. And I'm pretty sure your minimum
Six
damage would have
piercing.
nailed it. But yeah, you basically just kind of turn over, look over your shoulder, not paying attention to the goblin who's got his dagger, and then you turn around and just, and it goes flying off away from you.
Help, Jordax. I'll deal with this construct.
I love this character. All right, Trovik.
Am I within reach of the construct?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll attack it. 18,
Hit.
12 slashing.
Never
Damn,
mind, you
nice.
deal with the construct.
Keep me up.
Okay, you watch as he kind of like looks, Trovik's kind of looking at the situation, hearing what the Loxodon said, and trying to make a decision. And then he kind of looks up at the rig and kind of sees this barren part in the neck that looks like it's mostly gears and not plate. Brings his battle axe and kind of slams into it. It causes the whole thing to kind of spark up a bit. And you see that it kind of like is resisting some kind of effect, and then it kind of snaps back and starts acting like it was normal, just chunk, 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 as it was before. Any movement or bonus actions from you, Trovik?
Could I do the goring thing as a bonus action?
Hammering horns, yeah, because you hit.
So that's just a horn attack, yeah?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't get in there with the horns. Try to kind of like weasel them in. Don't get the hit. All right. The gang member up top with the crossbows kind of looks down at you, Ines, and will take a shot. I can't fucking hit anything. The goblin bosses are gonna go in on this mofo. First one with 2 javelin attacks. Second one's with disadvantage. 16 hits though, right?
Yeah.
So half damage, you'll take 3. And then the other one with the scimitar. First attack misses. Second attack with disadvantage misses.
You're so lucky right now, bro.
I know. John's rolling like shit. I have like the lowest AC, and I'm just like, nah.
Another goblin rushes out. This one with a dagger in hand. Actually, I'm going to stay back with this one and shoot. There's no reason I would enter in, so I'll shoot you. 16 hits. And damage is 7, so half would be 4.
This doesn't have disadvantage, dude. He can just shoot through his homies.
His homie's not that big, and you are.
True. That's fair.
It's like trying to shoot a barn that's hiding behind a cart. It's
But
like-
is the door that large?
Oh, no, yeah, it's really big. It's 10 feet tall, and it's like
Of course.
5 foot wide.
Yeah,
No,
Goblin Hideout with 10 feet doors. Yeah.
this isn't their warehouse. It's a Boros Legionnaires freaking place. The
I
doors
love
aren't
this
going to be
movie.
small.
Yeah, and Minotaurs are common in the Boros.
Next thing we know,
Yeah.
dude, Krenko's not a goblin. He's actually a sand mummy, dude. Fucking, I'm out of here.
Speaking of
Should've gone with the-
sand mumming the fuck out of here, Krenko is going to dash and head towards the street.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you can see that the goblin that got through the door and was yelling things at the goblins as he was kind of disappear. All right. Next up is Jardax. I think no, I've still got this one over here that's wounded. I always forget about this little guy. He's going to take a crossbow shot after getting back up onto the platform. This one's going to be at Jardax because everything else is behind the loading rig. Crit. 10 damage. So 5.
I'm dead. Or
Okay.
on the ground.
Cool. Alright, death saving throw from you, please. Success. Alright, next up, Steve.
Alright. Looks like these guys got it handled over here. Gonna go around the machine,
Yeah.
and then I'd like to try to bash this. He's wounded, right? This goblin.
Oh yeah, he's on his last breath, yep.
Gonna try to crack him on the head with the mace.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, it hits.
Bonk. Bonk.
He dies.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I only had 2 spell slots as a first level.
Alright. Next up is... It would be Batir.
Swing at the construct.
Okay. Hit. Damage. Nice. So you kind of like see it kind of close in and kind of like, you know, move towards the Minotaur, and as it does so, it kind of leaves open a spot underneath the arm and like the body. You kind of just and hit it. And con saving throw from it. It's like and just kind of stops in place. There's electricity kind of buzzing from it, but it doesn't seem to be moving. You can hear it kind of like the humming that it was generating just kind of go silent, and you hear the inside of it. Fuck! No! Ah! And you hear clink, 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 clink as something inside is trying to make it not do what it's doing. All right?
Excellent.
Which is nothing. It's trying to make it do something.
That is great.
Travik.
So do I get the sense then that it's easier to hit because it stopped moving?
It is currently, its state is incapacitated.
Oh, that is so good.
So let me check something here.
I think I have advantage on the attack then.
I believe that's right. I'm double making sure. Incap says... Oh, it just says incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions. That's all.
Okay, so I still need to hit it.
Yeah, it can still technically move. It's just... Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use second wind to get back 8.
You have second wind as a first level character?
Yeah, don't I? I used the character mancer and just popped it in.
Okay, hold on. Is it action surge the thing they get in second level? I
Yeah,
think
that's
what
right.
it is.
Second wind is first level.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Ooh,
And then I'll attack.
8 HP back and an attack?
incapacitated-
Go for it. Hit damage 11. Okay. All right. Yeah, seems to be kind of just still locked in its state. You still hear, like, as you hit it, and it kind of, you hear a, fuck you, I'll get you, you're all dead, from inside. All right, that's Travik. It goes to the inside. I'm going to make an Arcana check with that goblin. Got it. The loading rig and gets to act this turn. If the rig takes damage, checkmate is an action. Yeah, so the goblin is acting. The rig now acts. Okay, so it will get its attacks. I'm going to go ahead and attack the cleric, or the people who hit me. The cleric doesn't matter to me. One on each of you. One on the Loxodon, as always, so 26 hits, and then one on the Minotaur hits. So...
Damn. Now he's rolling good. I was going to say, you're baned, but it doesn't matter. Those are 2...
Yeah. So that'll be a total of 12 points of damage on the Loxodon. No, sorry, scratch that. That'll be a total of 8 points of damage on the Minotaur. I clicked the wrong one. Yeah. Wait, no. Okay, so yeah, so it'll be 6 or 8 plus 3 on the Loxodon, 6 damage on the Minotaur. And then your temporary hit points would get bludgeoned off for the 2 heroisms. Actually, scratch that. Who did you cast on first? Andy?
Andy stepped away.
Okay, do you remember who he cast heroism on first?
Myself.
Okay, so you will not regain hit points or temporary hit points at the start of your turn. Heroism is no longer affecting you. The temporary hit points that you did have are now gone. You can't have 2 activations of heroism at a time.
Fair enough.
You can't have 2 activations.
It's a concentration spell.
Oh, so I take mine away.
No, too late. He already has his gun.
You keep yours. I'm okay. I'm still standing.
Yep. But you're going to be taking 6 points of damage, Andy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. Jardax. Death saving throw. It's a failure. 1-on-1. Oh, I forgot the goblins. The other goblins. I'm going to shoot at somebody with a crossbow, and the goblin boss is... Let me take my shot first. This one will be against Andy. Miss. Okay. The one with the javelin is going to retreat. Seems like he's going the same way as Krenko went. The goblin gang member will do the same. And the other goblin boss with the scimitar will use his attack action to make an attack against the dying Jardax rather.
No.
So I have advantage for the attack. So that'll hit. So you'll lose 1 death saving throw. So you're now 1 saving throw success, 2 death saving throws failed.
No.
Alright. That's it for the goblins. Then you failed your death saving throw, then it goes to Steve.
Alrighty then. How to salvage a situation.
Joe and I have the construct.
I'm gonna try to help Kevin. I'm gonna use the magic of my signet on my neck. I want to cast on the goblin boss and tell him to flee, run away, and never return.
He darts out the door. He will dart out the door on his turn. Not yet. I just moved him through a wall on accident. There we go. Okay. Steve, that's your action. Any movement?
I don't want to risk opportunity attacks.
Makes sense.
So.
Batir?
Opportunity attack me.
Okay. The rig will take an attack, yeah. No, it won't.
Alright, well, I'm gonna just bellow out, no! And dart across the room and heal Jardax for 1.
Okay. Yeah, basically the rig appears to still have the status of incapacitated until its next turn. It was just allowed to attack on its turn because the guy inside made an Arcana check. So it's still technically incapacitated until the start of the next turn. Alright.
You're not dying on me, boy!
The one hit point crew over there. Patir, good turn. Trovik.
Yep, he's gonna go ham on the.
Let's see. Miss.
Oh, crap.
seems
So
to be
do I need to hit to do the goring?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one with the crossbow up top is going to take a shot. Since the Minotaur's kind of in cover from his position, he's going to shoot the Loxodon. I saved you, friend! I hope this happens. We'll see. Nope. Too much armor on the damn thing. After he takes his shot, he kind of looks at and assesses the situation. He's going to take the his movement to head south. Alright. And then he also is kind of crouching down. And it sounds like he picked up something as he was walking away. The goblin in the rig will attack the Minotaur full. I haven't been hit by the Orzhov cleric yet, have I?
No, I haven't hit you.
Alright, then I'm going both attacks on the Minotaur. Roll a d100 there, Andy.
Yep.
Okay, just a good old-fashioned wide miss. He swings high, real high, and misses. And then the second attack, he kind of slams into a box near you, kind of breaks it apart. And then the goblin boss is going to flee, as stated. You are prone, but you could still technically make an opportunity attack if you wanted to.
Yes.
Pretty sure that if he takes damage, he doesn't have to follow the orders anymore, though.
Can I still do it? I can still attack him?
If you want to. I'm just telling you, if you hit him, he stays with you. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
Alright, you hit him. And then roll damage.
10.
Okay. Then, after getting hit and being broke from the command, he's going to turn around and attack you twice.
You hear an audible sigh.
Yeah.
And you're still...
Does the second attack come from
Was it worth it?
one action, or is it a separate action?
Multi-attack is the attack that he's using, yeah. So he's going to attack you with a scimitar twice. He has advantage on these attacks because you're prone. First attack, 23 hits. Second attack,
wow.
he has disadvantage, but then he has advantage, so it's normal, so just the first attack hits. And he'll deal more than 1 point of damage. You are back to dying. And then he kind of looks to you, annoyed, and he'll continue his movement. Because although he was magically compelled to flee, he now realizes fleeing isn't a bad choice. Alright. Jardax, death saving throw. You restart fresh, so you have no fails, no successes.
That's good.
1 failure. Alright. Steve.
How's this machine's kind of back up and running, right?
Yeah, it's now full. It's game time. Yeah.
It's
How does
been
it
hurt
look?
though.
How does it look damage-wise? It looks pretty beat up, or is it?
Up. Yeah, it's seen better days.
All right, it seems to be pretty tough, but not very mobile. So let's hit it with a sacred.
Sacred Flame. Okay. Dex saving throw for the rig. Miss.
2 damage.
Little by little.
Alright, Batir. Your friend who you just rescued YOLO'd in the truest of fashions and was knocked back down to the ground. You feel pride in your heart. You're just, I would have done the same thing, my friend. But you can try and stabilize him as an action. If you have a healer's kit, you can just do so. If you don't, you can just, make a 10 medicine check. You're fine. You're stable. And then you still have movement if you want to take it.
It'll be a full turn to just kneel over him
Okay.
and make sure he's stable.
Trovik.
Going for the construct.
Okay.
How's
Miss.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, it's just a bunch of plate metal just throwing itself at each other right now. So you did swing at it this last turn with Sacred Flame and hit. So it will attack once against each of you.
Yeah, come at me, I guess.
Come at me, bruh.
That would obviously go for the Minotaur first.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
And then the
It would hit both anyway. It's fine.
So
Bane your second attack because it might
Okay.
miss if it's a big enough.
So 18.
Still hits, just barely.
Actually, back up. You roll a d4. It's your spell, so you go ahead and roll it.
Now it misses. Haha. Thank
Okay.
you.
So 8 points of
Appreciate it.
damage against the Minotaur, and no points of damage as it kind of just feels compelled to swing off and miss. You see it kind of scrape against the trolley behind you, the little cart behind you. Okay, goblins continue fleeing because that's what they do. All right, and then Jardax, death saving throw.
Can I get stabilized?
Yeah, that's right. Never mind, you don't need to roll one. Steve, you're up.
Have some more fire.
Take the flame, 7 damage. Let's see.
Didn't Jardex get an action back there?
He's dying.
Oh, I thought he was stabilized.
Stabilize doesn't.
Unconscious.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
unconscious. Okay.
So you kind of raise your Orzhov Morningstar to the heavens. It gleams with sunlight, and a bolt of sacred radiance kind of drops from the ceiling down on the thing and hits it directly in the back area where you saw the goblin go in. And then you hear this kind of, and you see the lance of radiant energy hit the floor underneath the rig. The second that happens, you hear this "Ah!" from inside of it, and the thing starts just sparking up maddeningly. So the thing is just. If you want to make an Arcana check, feel free to do so.
I'm gonna back away from it first. You know, it seems a little.
You can take a move action if you'd like. Yeah, you still have movement.
Yeah, let me back away from it first, then I'll make my Arcana check. Just
Yep.
in case it blows up. 11.
It doesn't look like it's going to stay not blown up.
Yeah, I guess free action. Yeah, let's. We need to get out of here. That thing is set to blow.
Are we out of combat?
No.
Okay.
So Batir, you're up.
I'll pick up my buddy Jardak. And which way did the goblins go? This way over here.
To the west, yeah.
Oh shit, I don't see a door over here.
Oh, it's
You
the
missed
door.
it.
Yeah, it's the door
You
that
missed
they
it.
were at. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm at.
Well, no. Make a strength athletics check.
Come on.
Your speed is halved as long as you're carrying him.
I got an 8.
Yep.
That's
Your speed is halved as long as you're carrying Jardex. And your action was picking him up, so you're just inside, actually.
yeah.
Trovik.
Yep. Disengage.
Oh, it's dead.
Oh.
It's just blowing up.
Then I'll dash.
Okay.
Where's the exit here? Oh, it's here.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And then it goes to gang members. Safe. Busted. And you're pretty sure that at the bottom of this initiative pool, or sorry, rather, yeah, at the bottom of this initiative round, that thing explodes. So, Jardax, you're fine. You're actually on the score with YOLO. Steve, dexterity saving throw.
Oh, what? I didn't get a chance to move.
No, because your turn was backing away just slightly and looking at him, and then not moving out of the door. So yeah, dex saving throw.
Crit. I do a backflip.
Success. Okay.
I cartwheel out the door.
No, that's fine. So you will take a total of 20 damage, so half would be 10.
Chatted me.
Nice. It blows up very loudly, obviously noticeably, and leaves a large dent in the floor. You guys escape out the way there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Um, Make a. Once you guys get outside, we're going to go back to Theater of the Mind. But once you guys get outside, I need everybody to make who's conscious to make a perception check.
12.
11.
17.
Okay. 17 is good enough. You do see that there are about 3 goblins who have been rounded up by the other 10 members or other 15 members of the 20-man Azorius Senate group that was wandering the streets. But you also see that there's one goblin who's kind of hiding in shadows in the alleyway you've exited out onto, just kind of looking at the scene as it's unfolding. He doesn't look like any of the goblins you saw while you were in there, because one of you was unconscious. The one who saw him was unconscious. But he looks like he's kind of trying to stay hidden.
Franco.
Must be.
What do you do?
I have an idea. Command signet. Whatchamacallit? Tell him, whatchamacallit? Freeze. Freeze, scumbag.
Okay.
We're the popo now.
So you're casting a command, and the command that you're saying is freeze on Krako.
Yeah.
Okay. He does. You see him drop a knife.
I look to the 2 big guys. Say, cuff him, put it or whatever, rope him, bind him. What you got?
You look at the one big guy who's carrying the other big guy,
Yeah.
No, I'm up still. So
and then you see the other big guy. Yeah.
Shravik.
Yep, I could tie him up if I can.
Hey, you're Boros. Maybe you have manacles. You're a Boros guy.
Would I?
Do you have them on your sheet? No. Then no.
No.
But you have some rope or something?
I have an explorer's pack, so that definitely has rope.
Yep.
I would tie.
Okay. Make a just a dexterity check. If you have vehicles water, you can make a vehicles water dexterity check.
Huh. I do not. Wait. No.
A lot of knot tying and nautical use stuff.
7.
Yeah. Okay. You tie him off. It looks pretty solid. You're very content in your tying, and he's tied up.
And I smack him in the head.
Okay. Yeah, he becomes
Just
unfrozen.
in other words, the idea is that like maybe we don't want him to sneak out, so we're just gonna make it a little harder for him to do that.
Okay. He becomes unfrozen by the command because he's taken a presumably point of damage from the hit, and he kind of looks at you. Look, bringing me to justice isn't in your best interest, and it's not even in the best interest of the city. You're making a bad choice here. You're making a real big mistake.
God damn it, why am I unconscious?
Let me explain what's going to happen, okay, if you take me to who you're taking me to. Without my leadership, the gangs are going to go into chaos, and this whole fucking street is going to be lit up. You think what you saw tonight was a problem? It's going to go nuts. I was trying to work out a discussion with the Shatter Gang brothers. But you guys kind of mustered that up, didn't you? Also, I'm sad. I'm real sad that, I had to kill Dargig, but it was an act of self-defense. And I was framed for it by the Boros Legion. And, see, I suspect, the Boros...
I'm gonna start to gag him.
Okay.
He's talking shit on the Boros Legion. That's a gag.
Screw that.
Make a strength athletics check.
Okay. 10.
He kind of muscles his way away from like the gagging that you have. I'm assuming you're doing it with rope.
No, with a piece of cloth.
Where'd you get a piece of cloth?
Could I rip it off of my shirt, my tunic?
Sure. Yeah, he tears into it with his shark-like teeth and kind of spits it out after actually succeeding in allowing for that to happen. You not being able to rustle him into a point where you could put it into his mouth to fit.
I punch him in the head again.
Okay, make a strength or make an attack roll with unarmed.
So what does that mean exactly? Just
Strength, proficient. So if you're proficient with athletics, just make an athletics check.
17.
Yeah, you hit him. He takes 1 plus your strength modifier damage.
So 5.
He just seems to be mostly annoyed by it. Doesn't really give you the desired reaction of knocking him unconscious or anything. And he says, "Look, I get it. You're a Boros Legionnaire. You don't want me to tell these guys the truth, but I'm letting you know too. It's not your fault. It isn't your fault. It's not. I'm just telling you. The Shattergang brothers are gonna go nuts, and they've got a lot of shit. They got a lot of gear. They're gonna blow this place. The Kingdom Come. And Jace ain't gonna come out of the sky saving them with his friends. I'll offer you a deal, okay? Simple deal. There's a strong box in my office. You can have everything you have, everything in it, and just tell Nassius you didn't find me. Okay? That's the guy who gets.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? He says, "You can have the box. I don't know how much is in there. It's a lot of coin. It's most of the savings that our gang has been building up, and it was going to be a peace offering towards the Shattergang brothers. I'll do something else. I'll figure it out. But you've already kind of fucked up my scene, so I'm going to have to think of something new anyway." But look,
Goblin.
Nassius is the problem, okay?
Look, Goblin, what you think is a lot of coin and what I think is a lot of coin is two very different things. And this place, as you can see, is pretty hot right now. So how about we can continue this chat somewhere a little quieter?
We'll go get the box. We can't leave without the box. Otherwise, I don't have a bargaining chip. And if I got it right, there's probably some more Azorius running around here that are probably going to investigate that explosion.
Can we, how do you guys want to get out of here? Because the south is where all like it's hot, and to the north is the river.
Where it's also
Is the oh yeah, 'cause I sent the Navy, the Coast Guard.
We went out through the west, didn't we?
Yep. But there's just another wall there. It's another alleyway. The only ways out of this alleyway are north onto the river or south onto the street. And Krenko says, "Look, I got a secret passageway. It's fine. Just go get my box so we can bargain. Okay?"
Tell us where the passageway is now.
You're funny. You want to use your fist again? It ain't gonna work, you dumb fuck.
I want to punch him again.
Make an attack roll.
Okay.
He was very confident about that.
You swing, he
I
dodges.
did miss him.
He dodges to the side, and he kind of like bares his teeth, like looking at your wrist, and you for a second go, "Oh fuck," and kind of back away, like annoyed and like a bit demasculated by the fact that he's currently bound. He dodged you, and it looked like he was almost about to snap on you. And he looks at you guys again. "If he's gonna keep talking with his fist, this isn't gonna go anywhere. If you're really Nassius' puppets, just take me to him, you fucking weak ass little bitches. Otherwise, go
Damn.
get my box, and we can talk."
Can I grab him up with my trunk? Try
Yeah.
to grab him up.
Are you trying to strangle him with the trunk, or just like lift him up?
No, just grapple him.
He
That's a
kinda-
great
leave you-
idea, though.
Leave you guys to this. I'm gonna go get his box out of the office.
Okay, make a quick investigation check.
Critical fail.
God.
He kind of told you about where it was, so you have advantage. He kind of helped you in that regard. So you find it pretty quickly. You also note that while you're getting in the office and grabbing it, you do hear that the area inside is no longer empty. It does sound like the senators you've sent out towards the river have moved back this way, and it sounds like they are looking for someone. You overhear, "I don't know, maybe we can talk to the syndicate. Maybe they can help us find out where that woman went."
Oh god.
Get the box and flee, run back, and
Okay.
like I tell these guys, is Joe currently strangling the gun with his trunk?
He's
Is that what I
lifting him
come
up.
back to?
He's lifting him up. He says, "I didn't lie about the box. I'm not going to lie about the secret place." He says, "Let's go to the river. Come on. Hurry up."
Yeah, I showed him the box and be like, okay, he's legit, but this place is too hot. Let's go.
He's looking down at you, Joe, as he's kind of being held up by the trunk, and he's looking down into your eyes. He looks as peaceful and calm as anything, other than the fact that like his teeth look like just it looks like a damn shark's face. And he kind of like looks into your eyes and he says, "If you want to carry me, it's fine. I'm kind of tired from all the running."
It's fine. I'll squeeze a little bit, but then I'll just like,
he
continue.
He kind of goes and laughs afterwards. Like there's like a pain and then laughter afterwards. You get to the river and he points out that there is just down the way a series of tunnelways. These appear to be like water release tunnelways, but there's one that has a very strange mechanism, door set on it, and from what you can tell, there appears to be is that League logo at the center of the door. Just come on, hurry up. It's my secret place. Let's go. You guys
Where we go.
Okay. You guys take him over to that spot. You do hear a lot of sound on the river of the Senate kind of moving around, muscling around that warehouse. Once you kind of get towards the door, he kind of like keeps on kind of gesturing for you, Joe, to move him closer to the door so he can get to the signet. Is that signet on there?
All right.
Okay.
And unroll my trunk a little bit. Get him a
Yeah.
little close.
Now I know you guys don't owe me any favors, but if I don't do what I have to do, we're not getting out of here, and I'm sure we're all getting picked up by the Senate. And I'm sure, based on all your actions so far, that's not what you want. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I ain't going to jail. I'm too pretty.
All right, then I'm going to ask you a favor. I need you to turn and look away. Don't look at me while I'm doing this. It's mob secrets.
Close my eyes.
Okay,
But I can't look away because I'm still holding
yeah,
with my face.
yeah, all right. He kind of looks at you and goes, "Okay." Everybody else, do you turn away?
Yeah, I knew another audible sigh.
You hear
Today's just been the worst.
You hear tapping. He's not looking at it, but he's tapping the signet as he's close to it. It sounds like he's hitting it in specific points to kind of activate some sort of triggering magic. And then you hear the door open up and he goes, "Quick, hurry up, and close it behind us." Well, you can. Kind of looks over at the Boros Legionnaire. And you guys enter into this hall. The hall does have a series of different pipes that are kind of running down it. One of them has every 20 or so feet circular bulb in the pipe that has a number of different small windows that can view into it, and it appears there's blue energy kind of flowing through this. Once you guys close the doors behind him, he says, "All right, so let's deal. We're safe here. They can't get through unless they've got an Azet Leaguer with them."
Is there any way you can get us to the 10th district through this pipeway?
Yeah, for sure. Get
All right,
anywhere.
let's go there and then we
Well-
should talk.
Well,
It's a lot safer.
that's fine. I'm okay talking here first. That way we can kind of decide whether we're going to the same place or not. This is as safe a place as any. So, you take the box. I walk away. You tell Nassius you didn't find me. And if you need some extra incentive, I can tell you why he's looking for me.
Open the box first.
You can open the box. It's not locked.
Oh, that was a lockbox. All right, I opened the box.
Yep. You pop it open, and inside it's so this box is probably maybe about 1.5 feet long by about 8 inches deep, like the size of a piece of paper, really. But it's about 8 inches tall. And when you kind of set it down and open it up, inside it's filled to the brim with Xenos.
John, I kind of missed the first 10 minutes or so of the session. Nassius, who is he, and what exactly was the mission that we were set out to do?
Find Kranko, bring him back to a secret location. Don't ask Kranko any information. Don't talk to him. And Nassius was a Fedalkin who is a member of the Guild Pact, who requested that Kranko be brought back to prison. But the place that you were going to meet up was somewhere else besides. Yeah.
Okay. Well, even though I've been very silent, you might notice that I'm visibly frustrated with the situation that we're in right now.
Okay.
Just from eyeballing the coin, how much would I estimate is in?
500.
Alright, I'm satisfied. Yeah, sure, cut him loose, I don't care. Put the box in my sack.
I do care.
Yeah, I'm gonna. At that, I want to smash him up against the wall.
Okay. Okay. Alright, hard deal. What do you need to know?
Like, with the intention of him not talking anymore. I want to smash him against the wall back and forth over and over again if I have to.
Yeah, if it looks like you're trying to go violent on him, he's going to start fighting. So we're going to do
That's
a little
fine.
initiative.
Before this breaks out, I look to Crane and I say, you've convinced me. These are tougher customers.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to put up an initiative counter here. And I'm going to kill everybody's initiative here. You should be able to select your tokens on this map. And you should be able to roll initiative.
Our goal should be non-lethal blows.
Our goal should be not die. I'm extremely crippled.
I'm not in the business of making deals with criminals.
Check out 5.
Oof.
I got a 4.
Oh, this token on this map doesn't show the right amount of hit points. I believe you have 1 remaining, Joe.
I have 1 hit point, yeah. Cool. Not gonna make a deal with your criminal guy.
That's fine.
Still.
YOLO.
No, I mean, you're playing your character. I'm not hating you on you for it. I'm doing what I got to do. You know.
I think I have control of Joe's character on this map again.
Yeah, I believe it. Where is my character sheet? There it is. All right. So go ahead and, Joe, since you're basically starting the brawl, before combat even begins, go ahead and make a single. Do you have a trunk attack? Then
It's
go
just
ahead.
unarmed.
Yeah, make an unarmed attack.
Is it off the ground?
He's currently grappled, but in truth, he's not.
Okay.
21
Okay. So what's your strength modifier?
plus 3.
He takes 4 points of damage. Okay. At the beginning of the initiative, no one searched him. He pulls a dagger. He relieves himself of the ropes, which weren't tied very well, and seems to have been relieved of those ropes for quite some time, and falls out of the trunk quite easily, using the disengage action as a bonus action. He will then go in on the Loxodon.
So he's able to release himself from the ropes as
He was already out of the
bonus
ropes
action as well?
the second you tied them. He wasn't really in them to remove himself from.
It was an act.
Effectively, he's wearing them right now as a cool bracelet. You've made him a friendship bracelet. Okay, the weapon he's using is technically a scimitar, but in size to you guys, if you were to take it, it would be used as a dagger. But he will treat it as such. First attack. 11 misses. Actually, make a perception check. I will make a sleight of hand check. This would be you, Joe. Okay, so I'll have an advantage on the first attack because you guys thought he was tied up and bound. So 20 should hit.
I thought he was bound because I had a grapple on him. He's able to just...
Grapple
not
doesn't
be
stop him from attacking, though. Yeah. The rope binding would have made you... You would have thought he was tied up. And you wouldn't have thought he had a weapon because he dropped the one he did have back that way. But anyways, out of nowhere...
Yep, he hit me.
For 4 damage... And then... I presume you fall.
Yep.
And who's closest to me after that point? I would say it would be you, Orzhov, because you just took the money from him.
Yeah, I also told him we were good.
Oh yeah, that's right. So then the Minotaur, he will. Do you look like you're hostile, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll fight you. That'll hit.
Yep.
Take.
I am down.
Yes,
I'm down.
9. Okay, drops him. He spins the blade, poisoned as it is, kind of looking at you, and says, "Are we good?"
We're good. Some need convincing with coin, others need at the tip of a knife. You know how these things go.
Yes, I certainly do. It'll definitely be a strange scene when when Falish sees this whole circumstance. He kind of shrugs. He does stand there. Ines, it's your action. Go ahead and take it.
I'm just gonna take the dodge action just because these guys, he's a little unpredictable, but
Yeah.
I'm not hostile in any way.
He gestures that the way out is down the passageway, and you should know the way once you get to where you're going.
Yeah, I nodded and I say, Krenko, if you ever come into this amount of coin of yen, don't hesitate to call on this.
Of course. If I understand correctly, a friend of mine already has dealings with your syndicate.
I just smile.
And yeah, he will proceed. If you do not engage, he will proceed to slit all of their throats. But we'll start with Travik. Make a death saving throw to see if you get back up. Could be a
Okay.
heroic moment.
Could be.
Let's see it. It's not.
It's not.
And then Joe Orbic.
No, I'm good.
Okay. He will proceed to slit all of your throats, and then he will leave after that. All right. So the winner of fucking the game is Steve. Great job. Good times. Yeah. Good
We
game.
all dead.
They call me the money priest.
It's killing
Yeah,
the stream.